Welcome to this new edition of the GTAS podcast being recorded Saturday, March 3rd, 2018. I'm Bob Rusin, and I'm here with my co-host, the always devout Adam Miller.
What's up?
Adam, it's been a whole week. What's been up with you?
It's usually a whole week.
Yeah, but it's been like I've barely spoken to you. Like usually, we end the podcast and throughout the week we'll talk here and there. But like, no, I mean you've been pretty MIA, and I've just been very busy this week. Yeah. So it's like, what's been up?
I've been playing a game called Mulaka on PS4.
Mulaka.
Yeah, it's a game made by like Mexican indigenous people in the Unity engine. It's pretty decent. It's like it feels like a pretty solid like N64 action game.
What would you hearken it to, you think? Like
it's similar to Ocarina of Time, and like you go around collecting.
Not like Hercules?
No.
The Hercules?
Jesus Christ.
Well, who's the main guy?
Kevin Sorba.
Kevin Sorba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game.
God, that's a fucking piece of shit.
That game is bad. You made me play that for like a couple hours.
I know. He's like, "Can we be done with this?" I'm like, "No, keep going. It's gonna
get good.
It
gets good." And it never got good. It just got worse.
I knew that. He didn't.
Ooh, bad game. So what's that game like? I mean, you said it. Does it look like an N64 game?
It kind of looks like a Sega Saturn game, to be honest.
Yeah, like what? Like blocky and shit?
Like very simplistic blocky graphics, but like stylistically.
So like
shitty.
If I ate a bunch of Skittles and then vomited them onto a screen, it would and maybe like drew an outline of a human being. That's a disturbing image, but that's kind of what it would look like, because that's what I think of when I think of Saturn games.
No, I think you have your view of Saturn is skewed.
Really? It all looks like a pixelated, blurry, blocky,
It
cubey
looks like
mess.
a high fidelity, but like with
I like
Sega
Knights.
Saturn.
I like Knights.
It had
Knights
like
is a good game.
Sega Saturn quality polygons, but like high fidelity, smooth edges, sort of cel shaded. It's very colorful.
Is it a budget title?
Until March 6th, you can get it for $17.99 on the PlayStation Store, and then after that, it's $19.99. But
okay, so yeah, it's a budget.
Yeah, it's I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah? You also mentioned earlier, because we're not going to be talking about it at all, but you said that you played the Secret of Mana remaster a couple days ago.
I did play that too. Okay,
is it as bad as like people were fucking bitching about? Like people were complaining about that game so much.
I think people's nostalgia glasses are a little fogged up.
From what you kind of were hinting at me is that it's the same game.
It's basically an identical experience. It just looks like PSP graphics, I'd say.
Yeah, it definitely has like that feel to it, at least from my like looking at the images and some gameplay. I mean, I'm really curious to play it, but I mean I've played Secret of Mana and I've beaten it on the Super Nintendo, so I mean I more just got it because it was a remaster of a great game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating it. I've been playing it. It's fine. I think it's I think the reason people don't like it is because they remember it being better than it ever was. Again, fogged up nostalgia glasses. But
isn't that the problem with a lot of things?
Yeah.
We will be getting into a topic a little later about nostalgia glasses and just. But what I think is probably a better port. Let me rephrase that a little bit. Sorry. I think that the Secret of Mana is a better port than apparently what we're going to be talking about later, which is the Chrono Trigger remaster that they released. Yeah. That'll be probably the last segment of the show.
Yes.
But, all right, Adam, let's go into our topics, and we were going to be starting off with our movie news. Mm-hmm. I couldn't really remember what we normally do. We've done 15 of these almost now. And
we just jump around.
When we just jump around.
I don't think we've ever really had a formula what comes first.
Yeah, I mean...
We usually, do whatever we have more of.
First or last.
Usually first, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm the one who sets up the show, and I don't even remember it half the time. But all right, Adam. But yeah, the movie news. So we're gonna jump into our first bit of news today, which is that Wonder Woman 2 director Patty Jenkins is looking in the early stages of casting the villain for the new film, which is gonna be Cheetah. We can, I think, both agree that Wonder Woman the film. Maybe you have not seen it, but I think critically, commercially, and audience reviewed, we can at least say that Wonder Woman is the only golden gem that is the DC expanded universe. For Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They have just been not having the greatest couple years with their DC properties, but we can definitely say that Wonder Woman
has done the best out of any of them.
Out of any of them. I mean, I think prior to Black Panther it was one of the, if not the highest or close to, like, top 3 highest origin films or whatever.
Yeah.
So it did a really, really well at the box office, and word of mouth just kept it going. And there were people who were like, why didn't Wonder Woman get nominated for Best Picture?
It's a superhero film. That's never going to happen.
No, I mean, it not to a point where, I mean, the closest we got right now was a Best Adapted Screenplay for Logan being an Academy Award, which a lot of people are like, this changes everything, which I did actually think that Logan maybe didn't deserve a Best Picture, but that was one of the best movies of the last year. But one of the big crazy things about this, so it's like, okay, Wonder Woman 2, no-brainer, right? Patty Jenkins, who's a great director, directed the original movie Monster. And then, like, after that, she didn't do anything. I don't know why. It probably was just because no one, like, women directors just weren't getting a lot of work.
Yeah.
But she's a great director, and she did great with Wonder Woman 2. And the weird thing is that they're aiming for one of Wonder Woman's oldest foes for the sequel, which would be Cheetah, and is kind of like a Catwoman-like character, but an actual cat. Like, she is clearly, like, transformed.
Yeah.
She just has the character is just. Hey, I'm not too familiar with Wonder Woman here, so I'm just kind of doing a quick summarizing of the character, but she's kind of like I don't want to say like the Joker to Batman, but she's a very opposite style character. She's very envious of Wonder Woman and just very jealous, and very, like, skilled. Obviously, with the name like Cheetah, you'd think, you know, super flexible, athletic, agility, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So who are they trying to possibly cast? Well, apparently Patty Jenkins is really, really pushing for Kristen Wiig of, like, Saturday Night Live and Bridesmaid. Now, that is a very odd choice. I don't think any of us can disagree. I mean, I don't see it. I just don't. But this is coming from Patty Jenkins, who pretty much, like, guided Wonder Woman to this great success.
Yeah.
So if she wants her, I'm all for it. It's just very odd to me. I mean, what do you think of this?
I mean, I think this is probably part of a larger trend in casting names over a good cast.
You think?
Yeah, because you got to think. I'm
gonna say
with Finn Jones as Danny Rand.
Okay.
No business playing that character.
But I wouldn't say that Finn Jones. Are you saying because of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, that's why he got that role.
Okay.
I think Chadwick Boseman does an excellent job as T'Challa, but he definitely needs to work on his martial arts a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you know.
Oh, see, I think
the way he kicks is not how a martial artist kicks.
Okay, well, real quick though, I mean, Chadwick Boseman compared to Finn Jones is very different.
He's like, leagues better. He's leagues better,
but I mean, he's done like Jackie Robinson and
I think that he needs
James Brown.
Yeah, I think he needs more training. They need to put some work into him.
Okay.
Martial arts training, possibly.
Well, if you're going to talk about anyone who has no martial arts experience, I mean, does Kristen Wiig at all?
That's where I was going with this. We're talking about casting a comedy actress.
She's done some serious stuff though. Like, yeah, but to be
like
fair,
what?
She did this one really like kind of depressing dark movie with he's also from Saturday Night Live. He was in Superbad and Adventureland with the mustache. Oh fuck, why can't I remember his name, man? Come on, you got to help me with this. You don't know his name? Let me see. I'm sorry. What is his name?
Gotta be a little bit more descriptive.
I know. Kristen Wiig. Of course, he's not in the front runner. Bill Hader. Damn it! I knew it was Bill Hader.
Yeah.
just was like, oh, I'm not gonna butcher it. Bill Hader, he did this movie. I think it was called The Skeleton Key, where they play brother and sister, and it's like it's really dark, kind of. I mean, it was like a dark comedy, but like not funny at all. Kristen Wiig definitely can do some dramatic. I mean, I thought her dramatic parts in like Bridesmaid, whenever she was actually playing serious, I think she can actually act. It is the physicality part. I don't see her like Cheetah is like a very like built woman, and I mean, I'm sure Cheetah's gonna be very CGI heavy, which to be honest was I thought Wonder Woman 1's not its strongest suit.
What, CGI?
Yeah, because at the end,
DC Universe in general has CGI been their strong point.
Oh yeah, the mustache.
I'm just saying in general, and like even in Black Panther, recent CGI just is coming off a little lazy.
Mm-hmm. I'm all about it. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say all about it. Originally, Emma Stone was the one who was being eyed up for it, but she turned it down. Not really sure. I mean, but at this point, Emma Stone can be in whatever the hell she wants to.
There's rumors. I don't know if it's true, but there's rumors that Emma Stone might be in Death Stranding, so that she might be busy.
Ooh, that'd be cool. But to be fair, though, I mean, maybe she did have. I mean, from what it seemed like, it's that she just straight up turned it down. But yeah, she could have had prior obligations that she's already contracted to do. But I don't know. It is odd. It's a very odd choice. But this is one that Kristen, like, Patty Jenkins has apparently wanted to work with Kristen Wiig for a while on a couple projects, but just never really has. So I don't know. Is this like...
Again, is this nepotism, or is this... is she casting somebody who's actually going to do a good job playing the character?
That's what I don't know.
I don't want to lay judgment on this because I have no idea. But my initial reaction is I don't think that this is a good cast.
That's what you're going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes out great. I hope it does well.
Oh well, yeah. I definitely don't want it to not do good.
DC needs to not fuck up.
What?
DC needs to not fuck up. Like, because that's basically all they're doing outside of Wonder Woman.
They actually, yeah, outside of Wonder Woman. But here, I'm going to actually go back real quick. Because you know how you said, like, but on name alone? I mean, Gal Gadot got cast as Wonder Woman. And nobody knew who the hell she was. She was just some pretty woman in Fast and the Furious.
I have no, which I didn't see her in. So I have no preconceived notions about her not being able to play the character.
And she's not the strongest actress. But you know, it's really interesting. I'm more just curious. To be honest, it's like at this point I'm like, you can do whatever you want with whoever's playing it. I really don't care. I just don't know how Cheetah's gonna look because I have the image. I'm gonna have an image of Cheetah obviously at the bottom of the screen here, and I'm just like, how are they gonna do this like female Catwoman like has fur and everything? It's just, I'm like, is she gonna look like one of the is she gonna look like a Thundercat?
Animorphs.
Yeah, well, Animorphs, they just turned into animals. But yeah, like, you never remember, I'm not too familiar with Thundercats because that's like one of my least favorite 80s cartoon shows. Yeah. But there's a woman.
Yeah, they're like cat humanoid people.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say this too. Gal Gadot is also, she has military training. So that makes her definitely more believable in terms of martial arts and everything. Because she's actually served.
Yeah, because isn't that a requirement over? Because she's
she was a member of the IDF, which Israeli Defense Force.
Oh, okay.
Everybody does 1 or 2 years, I think, in the IDF.
See, here's I think one of the cool things because I'm reading this article about Cheetah, and one of the parts that I'm like, okay, I could actually see Kristen Wiig maybe doing this because I think she is more than just a comedy actress. But it says that Cheetah often twists her own self-loathing and shame for her appearance into her hatred of Wonder Woman, blaming her for igniting her quest for the divine or not saving her from herself. So she blames Wonder Woman why she looks like that, why she looks like this freak Catwoman. So I mean, if they do that right, I could totally see them pulling that off.
I don't know. I wouldn't go with that cast.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm hoping this is one of those things where they throw a name out there to gauge audience reaction.
That's the thing, though. If they wanted a name, they could have thrown anybody. That's why everyone's scratching their heads about this. No one's sitting there. I don't think one person on the internet's like, yes, Kristen Wiig, perfect choice. It is an odd choice to pick. It just is. So maybe that's...
I guess this is what I'm thinking about. When you're thinking about a character that's going to have to be agile and things, like, you're not thinking about how their arms are moving. You're thinking about how their legs are moving. And I don't ever remember her her doing anything physical in any film.
The only thing I can say is that Kristen Wiig is kind of, like, lanky. She is kind of lanky.
Maybe that's why
hey,
what they're going
I
for.
mean, Gal Gadot, before she did Wonder Woman, was, like, very, very frail and skinny, and arms looked like a twig. And then she built herself up to a believable build.
And that's true.
That I could actually believe she could throw a punch.
That's true.
So maybe Kristen Wiig's going to be going through
think about the transformation of Chris Evans when he became Captain America.
Well, I mean, he still was kind of, like, bigger.
I know, but he was never jacked like he is now.
No, he wasn't jacked like that. No way in hell. I would have... I mean, if anybody, I would have said, look at Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
What he turned into.
Yeah.
Goddamn built like a goddamn brick shithouse. It's ridiculous. So, all right,
yeah,
Adam.
like, see, I actually just started watching Parks and Recreation. He's in the first episode. He's like
fat as hell.
Flabby,
yeah, he's fat as hell.
Yeah.
He was like 60 pounds overweight. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, we hope good news for
Not that I have any.
Yeah, you have no room to fucking talk. I mean, neither do I. But all right, Adam. But yeah, we hope the best for that casting. I hope that our observations get kind of addressed, and I hope that our reservations aren't like correct. I hope that it does well, because Wonder Woman's seriously the only thing that's good about the DC universe currently. All right, Adam. We're going into the next... We're going to flop from DC, and we're going to hit over to Marvel side. But not Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to hit to the Fox version of the Marvel Universe. Into their properties. Apparently, they are officially working on a Silver Surfer movie. A standalone. Which I'm going to say, I have always wanted a Silver Surfer standalone film. I understand that...
Weren't we just talking about one?
A standalone Silver Surfer?
A couple shows ago, didn't we talk about how like it would be really difficult because it would mostly take place in space?
You know what? I think you're right. I think we did say that it would be kind of difficult, but they did it with like Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we did talk about it, and I think I said the same thing. I really want a Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah.
I changed my shirt specifically. Put on my Silver Surfer shirt. I've had this probably since I was in high school. This is an old ass shirt. Just shows that I haven't aged since I was 18 because I fit in all my old clothes still.
Yeah.
So what they're apparently doing is that apparently Marvel movies are still going to be made by Fox because the deal with Marvel Disney and Fox, that's all probably going to be handled within the next year or so, just if the government allows the deal to go through. So what were you going to say?
Because of monopoly laws?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the only reason that the deal wouldn't happen. But even if the company did sell to somebody else, it still goes back to Marvel.
This is one of the few cases where you will hear me defend Marvel's right to consolidate Marvel characters. Like you'll never hear me defend another monopoly ever in any case.
Well, the thing is
but like if it's a fucking Marvel character, it should be at least in the creative control of Marvel.
To be 100% fair, though, well, not to be fair, but to not go off too far off onto like a tangent, it wouldn't matter if the deal doesn't go through and then Fox sold its properties to somebody else because Fox doesn't own those characters. So if they sold to another company, it wouldn't matter. It still would go back to Marvel because Marvel is leasing out those characters to Fox, which doesn't allow you to sell to somebody else. You know?
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I let you borrow something,
let's
say I like all my Marvel movies. Perfect example. He has all my Marvel movies at his house. If Adam decided to up and sell everything in his house, he's not allowed by law to sell my movies. They're not his.
Yeah, because then it would be theft.
Yes, I'm letting him borrow it. So they would still go back no matter what. But that's all I'm going to say on that. So
do we know, is there any indication that this is going to be sort of like what Sony did with Spider-Man?
No, there's no indication of that because Fox and Marvel and Disney, Marvel/Disney don't have that type of relationship. They're saying that Fox currently has a couple projects in the work, and they've got a couple movies on the pipeline. But they're saying that 2 secret projects are currently underway. One of them is Silver Surfer, and the other one is a possible Doctor Doom solo film. I don't really want to talk about the solo Doctor Doom because I have no interest in that, but I do want to talk about the Silver Surfer.
I hope if they make that, it's just a 1 hour and 30-minute music video of MF Doom.
That'd be cool. I'm fine with that. So one of the cool things is there's not a lot known about this right now, except that the one person who's writing it is Brian K. Vaughan. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Brian K. Vaughan.
I'm not.
Brian K. Vaughan is one of the co-creators of Why the Last Man and the Runaways comics, which Why the Last Man is probably considered one of the maybe best comic book series in maybe the last 10 years. A lot of people, I've never actually personally read them, but just the word of mouth is like, everybody's like, you should get into that, you should get into it. But it's like, it's the same reason why I don't get too much into One Piece yet.
Because there's a lot of it?
There's a lot to digest. And if I get hooked, it's just, man, that's going to be a shit. I got into The Walking Dead and I spent so much money just catching myself up. I feel like that's the same exact thing that would happen with
Why
the Last Man. So a lot of people aren't very happy from what I've been reading. I was doing a little bit of research on this. A lot of people are sitting there like, oh, well, look, they did the Fantastic Four movie with the Silver Surfer and they butchered that. Yes, that is completely true.
Who wrote that movie?
I don't know. Who fucking cares? It was trash.
But I'm saying, like, we're comparing that writer to this writer. It's a completely different set of circumstances.
Yes, it is a completely different set of circumstances because whoever wrote that, the whole production thing was like that Fantastic Four, the first one, did not deserve a sequel, first off. And then two, whoever was coming up with the ideas of, hey, let's make Galactus a fucking fart cloud, and then let's make like Doctor Doom come back, and the Doctor Doom didn't work in the first one that much, but the only thing they got right was the Silver Surfer. I thought that that was the only part of the movie that they did right. He was super awesome in that movie. They had Doug Jones cast as Silver Surfer, and then they had Lawrence Fishburne as the voice. That is awesome. Like, I love that news. And I just think that it's people are just shitting on it because they think, oh, well, they fucked up the first time with the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four, and then they fucked up the Fantastic Four again. But you got to realize that this is the same studio that has been handling the Deadpool franchise, has been handling the X-Men franchise to amazing success, while a lot of people were kind of poo-pooing on Apocalypse. I didn't hate Apocalypse.
No, I didn't either.
No. And I think that Fox did an amazing job with Logan. I think that New Mutants movie looks really good. They seem to can't get shit going with that Gambit movie. That was like our first podcast, and they lost the director and postponed that. But
like 17 fucking times.
Would you be I'm the minority. A lot of people I wouldn't even say know who the Silver Surfer is besides from that movie. What do you think? Would you be interested in a Silver Surfer movie yourself?
Yeah, he has pretty fucking cool powers.
He's considered like the most powerful in the Marvel universe. Maybe the only next two would be like Galactus, who's considered a god. Now,
didn't Galactus give him his powers?
Yes.
So there you go.
Galactus gave him the power cosmic, and pretty much he just wrecked shit. Now, my thing is, yes, could you do it like Guardians of the Galaxy and that whole space world and make it weird and trippy? Like, I think Silver Surfer could be the perfect combination of Doctor Strange, weird, like, Technicolor skit. Yeah. Like, remember when he goes to, like, Dormammu's universe and, like, he's getting into that, like, acid trip shit?
Yeah.
In that movie? I could think, like, if they did that with Silver Surfer, I'd love it. So, with that, I'll just tell you.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that they will recompose the Silver Surfer theme from the NES game and put it in the movie?
No. Nothing about... Do you know how badly I played that game whenever I was younger? Because I was like, oh my god, Silver Surfer.
God, Silver Surfer. And it fucking sucks.
Oh my god, it is.
The music's actually pretty good, though.
I don't even remember it, but that game is so hard. So hard. And my thing with the Silver Surfer, I've had such a deep connection. Like, Batman and Silver Surfer were like... And then later in my life, I was like, became a huge Daredevil fan. But When I was younger, I'll tell you this.
I guess I'm a little more mainstream.
Maybe. Well, you want to know why I'm a big Silver Surfer fan? Because I used to walk about... you know where Parkway Center Mall is?
Yeah, in Green Tree.
Yeah, it's in Green Tree. It's hard to explain if you're not from this area, but I lived on... you remember my old house on that South Linwood when I used to live with my mom? Mm-hmm. Okay. I used to walk from there to Parkway Center Mall when I was 14 all the way to like 17 because I did not have a car. I walked there every Saturday for like 4 years and would go there.
That's actually quite a trek.
Yes, it took about probably an hour and a half walk back. Well, to and back. It would take about an hour and a half both ways. So it was a trip. I'd go to the comic book store.
Which I don't even think is there anymore.
No, it's actually moved it's right next to the Taco Bell. Now, Phantom of the Attic, great little Pittsburgh comic book store. So I'd walk up there, and the thing is that I didn't have a lot of money. I had like $50. Like that's what I would get for doing chores and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And I would just spend it on. I'd be like, what can I get the most of? Well, Batman was too expensive. You trying to get an
fucking hot.
Yeah, try get an X-Men comic and Spider-Man comic.
In the 90s, fuck that.
Yeah, it just didn't. Well, it wasn't the 90s, but it was like, like 2003 to like 2006, stuff like that, around that time period. But still, Silver Surfer though was super cheap. Get like $1 for a comic, and like they offered paperbacks were like 25% off on all of them.
Of cover price?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I would just be like, here's $30.
Give me some Silver Surfer.
Give me some Silver Surfer, man. If I showed you my Silver Surfer stack is probably like this big of just paperbacks. Like it's pretty much like I have most of the original like 90s run of the Silver Surfer. And I just liked it because it was super weird and these crazy creatures and just the story of the Silver Surfer just being this guy who helped murder millions and billions and trillions of people, and then he
basically just goes around and fucking destroys planets.
Yeah, he sets them up for Galactus to eat and kill everybody, and then he eventually is like he meets the Fantastic Four, and for some reason he's just like, oh, what I'm doing is wrong. Then he fights Galactus, and then he decides to try to repent, but originally he was for a while he was trapped on Earth until the Fantastic Four let him get out, and then once he got out of the Earth and he was exploring, just man, the artwork was great, gorgeous artwork, cool stories, loved it. Specifically one where he gets locked on it was like before World War Hulk and the when Hulk becomes a gladiator. Mm-hmm. Well, the Silver Surfer did that like first. So, fuck you, Hulk. So yes, if you can't tell, I really want a Silver Surfer movie to be good. And with Brian K. Vaughan, that's a great writer. So yes,
it's a good possibility.
I just hope that it's marketed and doesn't fall into this rut that is the Gambit movie and actually starts getting made, because they just need to give up on the Fantastic Four and let Marvel deal with that. But if maybe they can get a hit out of Silver Surfer, I'm all for it. So anybody who's shitting on that, they can go fuck themselves, because I want Silver Surfer, man. Give me that Silver Surfer.
I couldn't even tell you.
Give me that Silver Surfer.
What comic book runs I was into then.
Yeah?
I couldn't tell you. Like, all I know is that I was reading Batman.
Silver fucking Surfer. Give me that shit.
I was reading some Batman stuff in the 90s. Some X-Men stuff in the 90s, and Spider-Man. It was about the symbiote.
I had some, like, as I said, like, I had $50. I just bought like 10 or 12 Silver Surfer comics, and then I'd like, oh, well, I can get maybe one Daredevil comics. Fuck. They were like $8. There was like $8, and when you only have $50, $8 is a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
So they were so expensive. Spider-Man was mid-range. X-Men was insane. Batman does better in arcs than single stories.
Yeah.
Like maybe back in the old 60s, like Batman stories were cool, but a lot of his single trade backs were very expensive or like hard to find.
I think I got a hardbound with like multiple.
Yeah, I mean,
books all in one book.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen my Batman collection, like the books. They're insane. But a lot of those are all compressed stories, and not really single editions. Maybe there's a few that are like good single stories, but yeah, no, I was such a loser back in. Still am a big loser, but I definitely was walking to comic book stores because I had no car, and my mom was not going to drive me to Parkway Center and sit up there for an hour while I looked around a goddamn comic book store.
Yeah.
But I would go up with my friend Zach, and I don't really talk to Zach anymore, but Zach was a good friend, and he would always come up, and he would buy, he really liked Superman comics, and I was like, why? Why are you wasting your money on Superman? Superman sucks. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, these stories are great. I'm like, okay. He tried giving me some, just didn't really work for me.
Yeah, Superman.
Some of them were okay. There was some 90s Superman stuff was really cool drawn. Like, it was some cool drawings in there, but yeah, the stories didn't really interest me too much.
Superman doesn't do it for me either.
No, but Silver Surfer does. Make this fucking movie! Make it now!
God damn.
I really want it. I really want that, please. Silver Surfer, please. Please. Okay.
All right, what do we got next?
All right. We are going to move on to the next one, which is Chris Hemsworth is currently being eyed for a Men in Black spin-off / reboot film. Adam, do you have any attachment to the Men in Black franchise?
I mean, it's not terrible.
I will say that Men in Black 1 is one of my favorite sci-fi films of all time. That is one that I always watch if it's on TV.
Do you feel like
2 and 3 maybe were good. I enjoyed 2 and 3.
I was going to say, do you feel like that made Will Smith's career, but that's kind of really the Fresh Prince that did that?
That made him a movie star. That or Independence Day made him a movie star.
That's right. I forgot he was in Independence Day.
Yeah, but I believe Men in Black might have been... When was Men in Black...
Independence Day was 94, I'm pretty sure.
It's either that or... let's see. Independence Day... Release date? Oops. Let's see. Yeah, because I know that I'm pretty... Nope, 96.
96.
96. And if I'm right, I think that...
Men in Black is 94.
I think Men in Black's 95. No, wait. It can't be 95. I was not 5 years old when I went to the drive-in and saw that. I could not have been. No way. 97, I'm going to say. Come on, 97. 97.
97?
Yes.
So Independence Day was first.
Yes, was first. But Men in Black, yes. Those two movies were the ones where like, oh, watch out for Will Smith. He can kick some ass.
Then he got weird.
Huh?
Then he got weird.
Yeah, then he got kind of weird. It's ever since whenever he married his wife. Okay, so...
You mean whenever he stole Tupac's ex-girlfriend?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Quincy Jones' daughter.
I didn't know she was Quincy Jones' daughter.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Oh, well, I'm not looking that up. So here's the thing. What I'm kind of curious about, because remember when those Sony leaks came out, and that's when they found out that they were thinking about maybe putting Spider-Man in the MCU and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, there was originally this idea that they were going to mix the 21 Jump Street comedy franchise with Men in Black, which I thought sounded like a dumb idea, like a really bad idea, because while Men in Black is funny, it's not 21 Jump Street, and it would almost seem like...
Yeah, it's not comedy.
No, it's not. I would think that 21 Jump Street, it would almost be like making fun. You know, like 21 Jump Street's like making fun of itself.
Yeah.
And this ridiculousness of the idea.
Yeah.
And it would feel like they would be mocking the Men in Black franchise, which I don't think the Men in Black franchise is something to mock. I think that, if anything, it proves is that the third film is the highest grossing of all of them. Surprisingly. Which I think it's the worst one. But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because it's a cool world. The creatures are really cool design. I just kind of got a little annoyed because it seemed that the third film kind of went more for the CGI look than opposed to the first two that had the really cool designs but were actually like prosthetics. Come on, man. Baldchinians were hilarious. But this apparently will have no involvement with Tommy Lee Jones or Will Smith. Like, we don't know if this is going to be a straight reboot. They're calling it a spin-off. Which, would it just be like, would he be what, like...
Other agent.
Yeah, L? or Q. Well, maybe not Q, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
maybe another letter. I'm all about it. I just don't want them to make it too funny. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is actually a really good actor. He does have the charisma of a Will Smith, but he's not the same as Will Smith. I don't think. I'm wondering if he can pull off that. I guess they don't need to. I mean, am I really that insane to say that they don't really need to pretend like it's a knockoff? Like, you don't have to pretend you're Will Smith. I guess just make your own separate thing. But I like a little bit of comedy in there. I don't want it too. I don't want them to make it dark. I think I understand
what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm? Yeah. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Maybe
like Will Smith is like a bag of skin filled with jazz, and
that's such a weird image.
Yeah, but think about him that way. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Kind of. I mean, you can't admit that he's one of the most like charismatic guys on the planet.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Maybe and that or like The Rock.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. Everybody loves Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And then Chris Hemsworth, really, I don't get that feeling.
I don't get that. Yeah.
I like, when I think of Will Smith, that's what I think of.
Maybe if you saw Thor Ragnarok, you could maybe understand. Or like when he does those little like side things where he pretends he's Thor hanging out with a roommate.
Yeah.
Those are kind of funny. And he is very charming. But you get what I'm going with. I'm like,
when I think of Chris Hemsworth, I think of an actor. When I think of Will Smith, like that's what
I think of Fresh Prince. Like he is the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, he's like he's like hip hop jazz personified.
Yeah, and besides like The Rock, who else has that much charisma that you can throw in the Men in Black franchise? I'm excited for this. I keep making Men in Black movies, and you got a great actor in Chris Hemsworth, who's a very good actor. People love him. He's very recognizable, and he's very attuned to like making fun of himself and goofing on himself. He doesn't take himself too seriously, at least from the way he comes off.
Who would you give him as a partner?
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Who would you give as a partner to Chris Hemsworth? I really don't know. You could give anybody who's just good, but yeah, you need like almost not a comedic foil. You don't want two funny people, but as I said, this might be different. I keep trying to compare it to the original, where you have the stoic guy, and then you have the kind of
comedy relief.
You have the kind of like I don't follow the rules type of thing. Who would be cool? I don't know. Do you have anybody you would like kind of suggest?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to. Who would be cool? Like, I don't know why Benedict Cumberbatch comes in my head. I just keep throwing it around. Like, I'm just like, would Benedict Cumberbatch and Chris Hemsworth work?
No, I don't want to see him play Sherlock again.
No, I don't want like Sherlock, but he's a funny guy.
But I think he'll get typecasted
as that like. I'm Benedict Cumberbatch, and like I'm
very
serious.
Smart and very serious.
I kind of get what you're saying with that.
Like that's what'll happen if he.
You know who I think would have been good actually over Chris Hemsworth? Would have been like a Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt might have been really good as that kind of like charisma, because he's definitely got the charisma for it too. Yeah. Chris Pratt wouldn't have been bad, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know who I'd give as a partner though. That's a little too far off.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, because
it depends on the tone of the movie.
It also depends on what type of character Chris Hemsworth is
playing. We don't know what he's playing. We don't know enough
yet.
Is he going to be like the face of the A-Team type of, or is he going to be like the Murdoch? Yeah. Or is he going to be Baracus? Or who's the main guy of the A-Team? Do you remember who?
I don't fucking remember that.
Ooh, what's the A-Team? There's the 4 character arcs. Hannibal. Yeah. Or is he gonna be like the Hannibal, where he's like the series where like I love it when a plan comes together. That's how I always equate every character in movies pretty much back to the A-Team. Is that, are they the tough guy? Are they the sexy guy? Are they the crazy guy? Or are they the smart guy?
Yeah.
That's a great that show is so great with just those 4 characters are like the template for every movie character. Besides maybe like a depressed character
and a funny guy.
No, that's Murdoch. Murdoch's the crazy funny guy.
Okay, all right. If you said crazy, so I figured that you meant crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be tough.
Until I see like the tone that they're going to be with this. If this is going to be more of a serious, or then I can't really decide. But I'm not.
You know who I want to see in more movies now?
Who?
The guy that played M'Baku.
Oh, M'Baku, yeah.
Oh,
I see that. I see a lot of people from Black Panther getting a lot more
roles.
Yeah,
I'd like to see more of him.
Actually, you may partner maybe Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan wouldn't be too bad.
I don't know. Every time I see him, I think Nick Cannon. I don't know why. I don't know why, because that's so disrespectful. He's such a good actor.
Nick Cannon. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They just look super similar, I think.
They have a very similar facial structure,
yeah.
But ooh. Nick Cannon.
I'm sorry, man. Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
if you ever see this.
I'm sorry he said that. What is it? What do they say at the beginning? What do they say at the beginning of like DVD commentaries where it says the expression of these opinions are solely based on the person saying them? Something like on those lines.
Like not
the guys talking about shit does not condone or express the views and opinion of the co-host Adam Miller. I do not think that Michael B. Jordan looks or has any resemblance. He's not Nick Cannon.
I know he's not Nick Cannon,
but he's such a.
That's just what I think. Sometimes when I see him, I don't know what it is.
I see what you're saying. I just
not Nick Cannon now, but like Nick Cannon.
No, I know, like Wild and Out.
Yeah, like right when he was coming out of Nickelodeon or whatever, that fucking wherever he was on.
Oh, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is like. Nick Cannon is now like the Wayne Brady. He's like the Wayne Brady of like black people now. Like people just don't. When you say Nick Cannon, no one's like, Nick Cannon. Like when you say Wayne Brady, you're like, man, I give him props for doing that Chappelle Show skit. Like that's what Nick Cannon needs. All I think of is like, man, you were on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, and, like, you were the MC of America's Got Talent for fucking 7 years.
Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, keep going with the. With Men in Black. I think that's a great franchise.
Just on a side note, do you think Nick Cannon is still living off of Drumline money?
No, I don't think he got a lot of money for Drumline. That was like his first that was an MTV movie for First Off, which I thought MTV had a very notorious record for not really paying very well. But I think if anything, he's surviving off of like Wild and Out. But Drumline's a great movie. I love that movie. That was actually a time when I was like, I actually thought Nick Cannon was like good. Like, if he kept doing, like, movies like Drumline's a good movie. But, yeah, I don't think he made a lot of money off of Drumline, to be honest. I mean, he was big at the time, and he was the star, and he was the main reason people saw that movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not many people talk about Drumline saying, yeah, you know what that good's about that movie? Nick Cannon.
Yeah, you're right.
People think about, like, yeah, that's a good movie. Wish Nick Cannon wasn't in it. Okay. All right, Adam, we're going on to our next topic today. We're going to talk about the possible remake of a remake of the Battlestar Galactica movie that apparently is being made. It's currently being worked on by Francis Lawrence, who apparently just did the Red Sparrow movie.
Oh, God, I'm already not interested.
Yeah, you do. Adam's, like, real big into, like, that type of shit, and he just kind of thinks that movie looks really boring. I just think it looks like a ripoff of the film, the Fox, the FX series, The Americans. I kind of want to see it. I think it looks good, but reviews are average, and Adam just thinks it looks like every movie that's ever been made about that type of story.
Yeah, it's just so formulaic. It doesn't look interesting to me at all.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, is Francis Lawrence was apparently... he also did the Hunger Games franchise, which I actually thought the Hunger Games franchise was good. Did you ever see the Hunger Games? Everyone shit on everyone shit on them. I thought the Hunger Games movies were actually pretty okay. They were actually better than okay. They were actually good. The last one sucks, but I actually think the first 3 films are actually good movies.
Yeah, but they're teen dystopian romance novels. I'm not interested.
Bullshit. You want to know why? Because I just read a teen romance novel, and it was a Star Wars book, and it's one of the best fucking books I've read in the last 3 years.
I know, but I'm not gonna read it.
Nah, but that's your fucking problem. That's not. Fuck off. So he was helmed to do a big screen version of Battlestar Galactica, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what? You're going to do a movie based on the sci-fi show?" And he's like, "No, this is completely new. Has nothing to do with the popular sci-fi show." And I don't mean like sci-fi as in science fiction. I mean like the network sci-fi.
Yeah.
Which was considered by a lot. It's usually in people's top. If you go on like top 50 shows of all time, it usually falls up in there.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the best shows ever made. It's incredible. You really should watch that. I might actually say you need to switch from TMNT to One Piece, but I don't know if we can go back on that deal. But
no, we're not going to go back on that deal because you're going to watch One Piece.
I'm going to watch One Piece, but I'm wondering if I can switch my selection maybe from TMNT over.
Listen, we can't disappoint the fans.
Yeah, we can't
we can't disappoint one of our 20 fans.
Yeah, well, there's more people. We have a couple people that won you.
25.
25?
Isn't that what we have?
No, I think we're at 20 right now.
20?
2 podcasts ago, we were at 15, so hey, we jumped up 5 people.
Yeah.
So thank you
Welcome.
once again. Welcome. So apparently he wants to go more based off the 1978 television show, which was very short-lived. Did not really hit the audience. A lot of people just thought it was copying. Well, wait, it might actually been right around the time of Star Wars, and Star Wars just crushed it. I think it actually might technically be before Star Wars. Wasn't Star Wars
79? I think
78 or 79? It was one of those. But this was a 78 series and only lasted like one series.
No,
it turned into.
I think it is. I think New Hope's 79. I think the other one's 81, and then Jedi's 83. I know that.
Yeah, it's, let's see. Oh, never mind. It was copying Star Wars 77. Oof. Took a while to get that sequel out there, huh? So apparently Battlestar Galactica was the first series, and then they turned it into like a brief spin-off, which was Galactica 1980, 2 years later. Not a good show. But then it turned into the great one, which was the 2004 version, which was the miniseries that people were like, "Oh my god, this is so good, please turn it into a show," which they ended up doing. So he pretty much, this thing has just been in development hell for a while, and someone's asked, comingsoon.net asked the question, is Battlestar still coming? And he says, yeah, I'm working on that. That's something I'm developing. I'm working on it with Lisa Joy, who is one of the co-creators of the show Westworld, which people love that show.
I've heard good things about that.
The original series was actually one of the first sets that I ever went on. I remember being a kid and loving that show. And they were filming near my house, and my mom took me down there, and I got to try on one of the original Cylon helmets. Lucky him. And so they said, does it have a personal connection with you? He's like, absolutely, 100%. I love that show as a kid. I love the Ron Moore show, too. The Ron Moore show was the other one. And
the other one is in the bad one?
No.
The new one.
The newer one, I believe.
Okay. You just said that with such disdain. I thought you meant the one that...
No, I just was kind of having a brain fart, you know, like I was like, is it? I'm pretty sure it's the original. Yeah, the redone one. So the original, the other one. I'll change my tone a little bit on that. Yeah, I think that cool. I mean, it's just going to get a lot of comparisons to the 2004 show. But hey, I mean, sci-fi has its place, and I just don't know if he'll get the budget that he needs for something like this. It has a very recognizable name, but he apparently has nothing to do with the 2004 one, and just kind of aiming towards the 70s one, which I don't know if that's the smart idea, but maybe distancing yourself a little bit from the one that everyone's thinking might draw less criticism towards it, and people will realize, oh, okay, this isn't, playing off of this one. Who knows? Maybe it could even be a prequel to, well, technically the remade one is kind of like a semi-sequel-esque story. It's kind of odd. It starts going into weird territory towards the end of the show run. Okay, Adam, that will be it for the movie news today. So
there was quite a lot.
Yeah, we did it. We did a good amount of movie news this time. So we're gonna head into the game news, and the first thing we're gonna go on to, it is the year anniversary of two things that we both really enjoy. And the first one's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn turned 1 year old on the February 28th this year.
Yeah.
And
just a couple days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago. And it has sold 7.6 million copies, which sets its record as the best new first-party franchise launched on the PS4.
It sold more than Battlefront 2.
Did it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Battlefront 2 didn't even break 7 million.
Fuck. Are you sure it was one of the highest-selling games?
Battlefront 2?
Yeah, it was one of the highest-selling games of last year, but probably because it was on multiple consoles and systems.
Yeah, you gotta think about that. But I'm pretty sure that Battlefront didn't even break. Like, EA had a goal. Like, initially the rumor was 10 million was their goal, and then they dropped it to 7 million, and they're like, well, we didn't even make that.
Yeah, they, they definitely missed the target, but I'm trying to see. They sold... It says that was 1 million fewer than 10 million copies than EA had expected to sell. I don't...
So they sold 9 million?
That's what it looks like, but...
Is that shipped or sold?
Let me do...
That's a difference, too, because we're talking about actual sold for
Yeah, because they said they
Dawn.
shipped out like 10 million.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see... With over 7 million. Okay, so you might actually be right. It doesn't say exactly, but it's close. That would put Battlefront 2 sales just above 7 million. So
just above 7 million isn't 7.5 million.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
All right, so you might be right. So, good. I mean, that's great.
It's sold better than a multi-platform release by a AAA publisher.
Well,
so think about that.
I mean, for a lot of people, the contenders for games of the years were pretty much Horizon and Zelda.
Zelda, yeah. And that was about it.
How much more can we say about how good Horizon Zero Dawn is?
Play it. If you haven't played it, play it.
It seriously is one of the best games I've played in so long. Adam, me and you could not... We played it pretty much together. We played both at each other's houses and just were like, how far are you here? I'm this point, and we were just kind of slowly racing each other. And then I got like... I think I either took a vacation or I had to get a new job. I was like kind of let go, but not really. I was given like a 2 weeks notice. So there was like a week period.
Yeah, your internship was going to be up.
Yeah, my internship was going to be up. So I think I had like a week where I just fucking dominated it. Well, no, it was back in... I think it was a vacation I took.
All I know is that I 100% completed that game, platinumed it, and everything.
I just didn't do the hunting missions, the trials. I don't like that. That's the only thing I don't like about games is
timed missions.
I don't like timed missions. I just don't. They're not.
I don't
fun.
like escort missions. So.
Yeah, well,
I still love Resident Evil 4, and half that game is an escort mission.
Yeah, well, Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorites, but that's the one where they actually did escort missions done right. Because
I feel that way about it too. They're actually not that bad.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is just an amazing game. I'm so glad it's success. I can't wait to see what they do with a sequel for it. Because they can take that game into some really great territories, I believe.
Yeah.
So, all right. That was just a quick little short one. And then the other one we're going to talk about also is officially today, March 3rd, 2018, is the 1 year anniversary of the Switch's release. The Nintendo Switch's release.
That's true.
So, Adam, I mean, you still don't own a Switch.
No.
I don't think it's going to take much longer for you to get one.
No, I mean, I already plan on it at some point.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of where it is in my priorities list.
Mm-hmm. I think that once you see that F-Zero drop, you're going to be grabbing that.
Oh, dude. They'll both be in my hand the day that F-Zero comes out if it happens.
Oh, yeah. So, the Switch, I mean, besides its terrible voice chat feature, I mean, that system has just made a killing. Just like Horizon, it is just done so well.
Popular for doing the right things.
It's already sold more than the Wii U.
Unsurprisingly.
And that was the full lifespan, which was, I think, 3 or 4 years.
5.
5 years? The Wii U was out for 5 years?
Yeah.
Holy
They stopped
shit.
They stopped supporting the Wii. in 2017. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2011 or 12. So it might even been 6 years.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Jeez. Man, time goes by fast.
Yeah.
I remember just buying the goddamn thing. Oh. I mean, the Switch is definitely the better console. It is, but the Wii U was really underappreciated. I mean, it just...
The only thing I don't like about the Switch is how tiny the little controllers are. Like, when they want you to use it sideways, it's kind of fucky. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, but it's not necessary. It's only whenever you want to split up 2 players.
You're right.
And even then, you can just get Pro controllers.
Yeah.
Which, Pro controller is still, like... I still contend that my favorite controller of all time is the Xbox 360 controller. But, shut the fuck up. But I think that the Switch controller might be a top 2 or top 3. It might be
the Pro controller.
The Pro controller for the Switch is but it's because it's pretty much the 360 controller with I just think like 2 button switches and that's it. I believe that the triggers on the 360 are better than the Switch Pros, but the D-pad on the Pro controller is incredible.
It's a Nintendo D-pad, of course it is.
Yeah, of course, so it's going to be good. And, I mean, so here we can go. Since we're at the year, what's missing on the Switch? Besides, obviously, F-Zero. What do you want on the Switch?
What do I want to see?
Because I know that this year we got Bayonetta 3, apparently.
We can't count on Konami, but I would love to see another, like, Goemon game.
Nope,
either
not gonna happen.
Great Adventure style or Mystical Ninja style. I'm
gonna say that I want a. Where is Smash Brothers? I don't know where the fuck that is.
I'm done. I agree with Smash Brothers.
Oh, I did not. But I think that what's gonna happen is they're gonna do Switch and maybe add like 1 or 2 characters. I think that's what's taking them so long. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna predict that.
Who are they? Who else are they gonna put in?
I don't know, but I think that they're waiting for something. Why wouldn't they just get that shit out there and make a boatload of money? It's clearly they got something planned for it because you know that thing's gonna come eventually.
Yeah,
they don't have to put any money into making a new Smash Brothers. All they have to do is just say, "Hey, Smash Brothers on the Switch."
Hey, they can make a Star Fox that doesn't fucking suck.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, just put Star Fox Zero and just get rid of the dumb motion control, which that'd be fine.
Ruins the game.
Which does literally ruin it. Like the experience is ruined by having the controllers on there, the motion controls.
Tacked on gimmicky motion controls.
2 that I'm just like, where's the Smash Brothers? I already said that.
Yeah.
Where's Mario Maker? I thought Mario Maker would have been on there for sure.
Yeah,
that was the game.
That seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, they were pumping that game out for crazy like amounts of times. I feel like any game that you got as a bundle for the Wii U should be on the Switch already, which was Mario Maker. Splatoon was one of them, which they got 2, so that counts. And like maybe the HD remakes of the Zelda games. I think that no one probably bought the Twilight Princess remake, and that's an amazing port. An amazing port. I'll argue that I like it more than the Wind Waker one, mostly because I like Twilight Princess more than Wind Waker, but it's a...
Fuck off.
Fuck you.
I hate the art style in Wind Waker, and I still like that game more.
That's fine. I don't give a shit. I just don't like the boat shit. I don't like the boating. You can do the crybaby shit all you want. I'm just saying. I think Twilight Princess just looks cooler. It plays better, and especially whenever you don't have the motion controls. Now you have the normal controllers, and it plays great. So shut the fuck up. You piece of shit. Like I like Twilight Princess more than Wind Waker. Fucking sue me.
I'm trying to think of like some old shit. Like, what did I really enjoy playing on the N64?
Devil's Third.
No, oh god. No. I had that.
I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing N64. Like, they're not doing the Wii Virtual Console anymore, but I do believe that you're going to start seeing maybe them doing 64 games again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what's really big on that, because I have a ton of N64
Hercules
games. No, that game never needs to see the light of day again.
Xena!
I think that one's a little better, but not by much.
Buck Bumble! Isn't that the second time I brought up Buck Bumble?
I think in podcast history. I don't know about this run.
Buck Bumble!
That's
a good game by anyone who's listening. Check out Buck Bumble. Glover!
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would play a Glover remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the shit out of Glover. It gets hard.
Yeah, Glover does get pretty tough.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Dude, oh my god!
If
What if they came out with a fucking like modern, like revamped gameplay Chameleon Twist?
Okay, I'd be certain. Is Chameleon Twist? Who makes that?
Oh, fuck,
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, what about Jet Force Gemini? I'm like, oh, but that's rare.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Flying Dragon.
Flying Dragon?
Yeah, like the Flying Dragon with the super deformed characters, not the full size characters.
Dude, Chameleon Twist. Sunsoft did that. God, that game is really fun.
So Sunsoft
I need to get that
purchased
game.
by Hudson, right?
Yes.
And then Hudson got purchased by Konami? Does that sound right?
Possibly. Dude, I never played Flying Dragon. Is that something I really should check out? Like, is that gonna
on the N64?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like there's the N64 game has 2 games in it. It has one with like adult character, like Tekken-sized characters. It's kind of like Virtua Fighter. It's But there's also the SD mode, or Super Deform mode, they call it in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And it's got these like little tiny characters, and you got like everybody has different move sets, and you can level up your characters, and you can get them new equipment and new like special attacks and everything. It's fucking awesome. It's amazing, and I can't for the life of me understand why there hasn't been another one since. Well, that's not true. There has been one more since. It was on the N64. It was just the Super Deform game with 4 extra characters, but we never got it.
Well, I'll tell you this real quick. It doesn't seem like Sunsoft was purchased by anybody. It just seems like they haven't released anything since like 2010. So I mean, it
they
just
out of business?
it doesn't say that they're out of business.
They might just be doing like farm out work,
maybe
like
because
programming or testing or something.
Yeah, that might be it, because the last thing they did was released Aero the Acrobat 1 and 2, not bad games, for the WiiWare.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing that they published. I don't see anything like past 2010. I could be wrong. Blaster Master Overdrive, but that's not the good one that they re-released on the Switch. It's I don't know. But Sunsoft, yeah, that Chameleon Twist was a great game. But I mean, is there any any more Switch? I mean, Wii U games that you think would be like really good to be ported over? I mean, there weren't too many, but you know,
Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I'd probably actually get a chance to play.
Yeah, people like that game. Surprisingly, I just thought it looked dumb. I'm not into the whole Japanese dance shit.
No. Like premise wise, no. Gameplay wise, it's basically just Persona or Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, which I'm not into those franchises either.
Well, I mean, you're allowed to not like good games.
I'm not. Yeah, I just never got into them. I'm not saying they're bad games. I just never got into them. I just think the Switch has a lot of potential that you could just throw whatever. I mean, they're doing Tropical Freeze soon. They're doing the Hyrule Warriors.
You know what I'd really love to see? Fucking like a complete ground up remake for Wampum.
Ooh, I can't do that. They're not gonna get a.
Fuck off! It's
not
a
gonna
good
happen.
Game.
It's not. No, I love the game. It's too racy now. Can't do Wampum with that character. You can't.
Why not? You know, it's not even actually a Native American.
It's not?
No, the real game, it's the Monkey King. But when they brought it to the United States, they're like, nobody knows who the fucking Monkey King is. So they changed it to an Indian.
Yeah, I just think with that Indian and just the way the world is right now, I just don't see you getting a Wampum. A lot of people would look at that like, ooh, that character.
I support it.
I'm sure you support it. I mean, because it's
one of my favorite games of all time.
And it's a great NES game. I just wish it wasn't so high priced, or I would totally get it. So, hey, the Switch. I love the Switch. I probably play it just as equally as much as I play the PS4, and that's saying a lot for the amount of games that I have for PS4 compared to the Switch. I think,
honestly, that's one of the reasons why I don't own one yet, is because I have the PS4 and I had the Wii U, and I never touched my Wii U.
Yeah, you didn't play the Wii U a lot. I mean,
I had like
I
7
tried every
games.
once in a while for you. But, I mean, yeah, I have like close to like 30 games on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Like, I played the Wii U a lot.
I think I had Tank, Bayonetta 2,
Tank's fun.
Devil's Third, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Did you have the Wonderful 101 or whatever it's called?
Yeah, had the Wonderful 101.
That was a good
Had
game.
Nintendo Land.
Nintendo Land was fun too. That was a very fun tech demo game.
Yeah, it's basically a tech demo, but yeah, there's some fun shit in there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only game on the Wii U that I had that I actually beat was the Wind Waker remaster.
Which was a really, really good port. It really was.
Tank. My wife and I destroyed that game.
Yeah, I mean, but that game was easy as hell.
It gets hard.
Yeah, but I never had too much of a problem with it.
It's such a good game.
Hey, I mean, there's not much like
Bandai Namco's super hit or miss for me, but they really nailed it with that one.
Tank.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I remember
with
you
that.
talking that shit up like crazy. All right, Adam. Let's get on to the next topic here.
Sure.
Which we are gonna. What's one of the reoccurring topics we always seem to talk? I hate talking about it, but we talk about it like at least once every 1 or 2 podcasts.
Loot boxes.
Yep.
And just predatory practices in general.
Yeah. And we were sitting there saying, like, when is this shit going to start, like, getting noticed? Like, people on YouTube and us, like...
Lots of people are talking about it.
But no one's doing anything about it. Well, it seems that finally the ESRB is finally stepping in. Now, this isn't going to change anything.
You know why? Because there was that whole hearing.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't answer the fucking questions.
Yeah,
the government was like, "Why are you doing this? Why don't you think that this is predatory? Does this seem like gambling to you?" And the guy's like, "I can't answer that. I can't answer that."
So yeah, it hasn't looked good, and especially because the ESRB hasn't stepped in for a while. They're sure to jump in whenever somebody's like saying, "Oh, well, why is this character's head getting ripped off?" But whenever there's kids gambling on games and blowing their parents' money with no repercussions, that no one seems to bat an eye. But whenever, cartoons are ripping each other's heads off, it's all of a sudden like a problem. It's a big problem that the ESRB needs to step into. So, big problems with games like obviously the forefront of like Battlefront 2, Need for Speed Payback, Destiny 2, all of these in-game purchases that are just like
random number generated.
That aren't disclosed.
It's basically like a slot machine.
Yeah, they're not disclosed numbers. They don't tell you anything like that.
Yeah, your odds for getting certain items.
So people have been raising a shitload of alarms about this, with kids using credit cards and all that stuff. And,
Well, and those companies also hiring psychologists to figure out how to exploit people's psychology to make them want to buy these things.
Is that true?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
If that's true,
it's pretty dark.
That's dark as hell.
Yeah, when you look into this shit, they hire psychologists to learn how to exploit psychological weaknesses in people to make them want to buy these microtransactions that are random generated numbers.
Ugh. Ooh, that's awful.
Yep.
But so the ESRB posted out a big long paragraph talking about the update with now on the back of the box, it will say in-game purchases, if there are.
Yeah. Which so, I have some reservations about that wording.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and explain what it is.
Yeah, they'll pretty much to summarize it, they've said starting soon the ESRB will begin assigning a brand new label to the physical games in-game purchases. This label, or as we call it, interactive element, will appear on boxes and wherever those games can be downloaded for all games that offer the ability to purchase digital goods or premiums with real-world currency. This includes features like bonus levels, skins, surprise items such as item packs, loot boxes, mystery rewards, music, virtual coins, and other forms of in-game currency, subscriptions, season pass, upgrades to disable, also upgrades to disable ads and more. We are also launching a new website, parenttools.org, to help raise awareness of helping tools that parents can use to manage the amount of time or money those crafty kids spend playing games. Why'd they have to throw that they're like...
Because they're talking to parents. They're not talking to
Yeah,
People that actually fucking play games.
I know, but what are the crafty kids? What are they, fucking comedians? This is the first step of many. We'll continue to discuss how to further enhance our rating system with publishers, developers, gamers, and especially parents, and we'll continue to make adjustments as needs arise. Thank you for all your patience on this and your love from the games we rate, the ESRB. That was their Twitter post.
So I got a two-pronged attack to this already.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, they pretty much covered everything that could be sold with real game currency.
That's one part of the problem. This allows them to hide random number generation or gambling mechanic microtransactions in the same exact definition as DLC.
They call it as surprise items.
Yeah, so they call it surprise items. But it allows them to hide it with DLC, level packs, skin packs, things that you buy and you actually get.
Yeah.
That, while it is mildly exploitative, it's not a problem with people that have gambling addictions or with kids that don't have.
Yeah, they're one-time. So you're saying you have a problem because the same thing is a one-time purchase, as in, like, for example, let's just go with something like Injustice 2. Injustice 2 does not have loot boxes, at least that I can say, where you use in-game currency loot boxes. But I don't believe. Oh wait, you know what? I think they do have loot boxes, but they're really not needed. But like, we'll just use Injustice 2 again. Let's say if it had none, but it released the TMNT pack, where you can buy the Ninja Turtles in the game. Awesome, by the way. But that would fall under in-game purchase. Yeah. Even though there aren't any loot boxes. So you're saying that the wording is not right.
Yeah, and I think it's done specifically for that reason.
To cover their ass?
To cover their ass. The second thing is, this is going to backfire on them. Because now you're going to have games that just have DLC purchases or like a season pass.
And they get this label.
And they're going to get this label, and that's going to cause parents to refuse to buy this game for their kids. So this is, one, them trying to get around it, and two, it's going to fuck them. And I hope it does.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I mean, just companies like Apple began requiring the games in the app stores.
To require the odds.
At least, And
that's actually law in China. If anything is random generated,
Belgium, Germany, and some Australian states are consider pursuing that as well.
Mm-hmm. Good.
As are Hawaii and Washington.
Mm-hmm. So I think.
But New Zealand and the UK have ruled that they don't consider loot boxes to constitute gambling. Interesting.
Well,
that's what it says. It says UK and New Zealand, however, have ruled that they don't consider loot boxes to constitute gambling.
You got to think countries with game developers in them are probably going to be less likely to attack this problem.
Well, Hawaii and Washington.
Have you heard of any game studios in Hawaii?
Washington, I have.
Yeah, you got Microsoft there.
Yeah, got one of the biggest.
So,
I mean, Hawaii, okay, like Hawaii doesn't even allow you to buy, like, Hawaii has a lot of like weird rules where, you know, they always say does not apply to Hawaii and Alaska type shit like that.
Yeah.
They're kind of like outside the US on like certain regulations.
Well,
but Washington's a big one, man. That's a big one.
Before we colonized Hawaii, it was its own country.
No, I know.
Yeah, but
so was, to be fair though,
so was the entire United States.
Yeah. So
but yeah, I just think that that's super problematic, that they're clearly trying to skirt. Like, the reason that the ESRB exists is because they didn't want to be regulated by the government, the video game industry in the United States. So they created this thing, this ratings board, to sort of tell the government, we will regulate ourselves. And here they're using their power that we allow them to have to skirt the actual problem. The problem is not that they have DLC or skin packs or, you know, music add-ons or anything like that, or season passes. Even though these things are kind of problematic to the gaming community, the legality of these things is not in question. And
while I completely agree with you, I actually do. I'm just going to do like a devil's advocate thing here, and it's specifically what you're saying. Some may wonder why the ESRB isn't addressing loot boxes specifically. But the ESRB president, Patricia Vance, told Ars Technica, I guess that's
Ars Technica,
that it's because a large majority of parents don't know what a loot box is. And that's parents' biggest concern is their children spending money in games, not necessarily how they're doing it. It's very important for us not to harp on loot boxes per se, but make sure we're capturing loot boxes, but also other types of purchases as well.
I don't buy it.
I mean, are you just saying that it's just because it's a cover? I mean, they kind of address your issue that...
I think that's exactly... Like, the ESRB's job is to inform parents with the rating system of things that may affect their child. And right there, they're saying it's not our job to, inform them.
Yeah.
I mean, literally her exact words are...
Yeah.
Some parents don't understand. That's your job. Inform them.
To be fair, though, what are you going to do? Put on the back of, like... If certain places don't constitute it as gambling, can you just put in-game gambling? Like, what are you gonna do? You can't you can't have a giant box like on a pack of cigarette that says this causes cancer. I mean, you
sure you can.
That's what they're. I mean, I'm just doing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying because I don't necessarily. But how do you implement putting on the back of a box that? I'm sure if you go to this
in-game gambling rated 18 and up,
but is it
or 21 and up, depending on what
But
your
it hasn't
state.
been constituted as gambling, though.
But it is, so.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's your opinion.
It's not my opinion. They hire psychological, psychologists and psychiatrists and shit to manipulate the same exact psychological problems that gambling addicts have.
Certain other places aren't necessarily saying that it's gambling.
I don't care what they say. That's
I know,
it is.
But I know. As I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just, I'm saying you can't really put gambling if certain places don't consider it gambling. Even though it is, you just can't throw that on a box. I'm not saying that, it's an okay step, but yeah, it's not my favorite wording.
I mean, basically, they're not actually solving the problem here. This is a whole lot of fluff and
what I'm hoping that
and everything. What I'm not solving any problem.
What I'm hoping that this does, this in-game purchases thing, that if parents, which let's be fair, I worked in retail for a total of probably 10 years. You worked in retail?
I worked in retail from the time I was 16 until the time that I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of all the M-rated games that parents were clearly buying for their underage kid.
I told them every time.
I know, but how many of them asked? How many looked at the back and said, no, you know what? Here, I'll be even better with this. How many of them just came up to you and said, is this game good for my kid? Instead of reading the back and said, hey, this game says this has sexual content, violence, and gore. What?
Some did, but you're right. It wasn't very common.
Yeah. It was not very common. So
yeah.
It's like... it's due diligence and saying, hey, we're going to put in-game purchases here. But yeah, most of the time, I'm going to say, if parents even give a shit and ask, they go up to the person and say, is this game good for my kid? And I'm going to tell you right now, unless stores start putting out memos saying, hey, if parents ask, is this appropriate for my kid? You might want to address the loot box issue. But I don't see places doing that because that would possibly decrease sales, especially at some place like GameStop.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. They're trying to get around that.
Now, if they put it on there and someone straight up, if anyone asked me, is this a good game? I'd give them the dead truth. Yeah. No, it's not a good game. You should not buy that.
By the way,
but if they said...
Just to tell you, if you ever go into a GameStop and a district manager is there, don't ask for people's opinions on games because they're going to lie to you.
That is true, but how are they supposed to tell a district manager?
Old, sweaty. I'm talking about the specific one that we had.
I guess what we're mostly saying is, while it's okay that ESRB is addressing it, because it hasn't been officially ruled by the government or something as gambling, you can't just throw it onto a game. You just can't. It might hurt a product, and I just think that I think it's stupid to say that if a game has in-game purchases that it's automatically going to be warranted as an M-rated game, you have to be over a certain age to play it. I think that's not the right answer either.
Exactly. That's the problem with lumping all these things together. That they're basically putting apples and oranges together and saying these things are in the game.
Yeah, it's just tough. You only get a little bit of wording, and it's just Obviously, if you could write a paragraph, you could explain exactly in depth what each one. But you got maybe 3 lines that you can write something on there. And so it's
here's what I'd put on real world gambling mechanics.
Yeah, I know, but that you can't put that if
they don't need to talk about other DLC. Nobody's complaining about other DLC.
Nobody is complaining about other DLC. I'm just saying you can't put gambling on there. You just can't. It just wouldn't work. It's not constituted as gambling. It's just not.
But it is.
Yeah, I know it is, but it's not defined as gambling.
I don't care what the legal definition is. What the literal definition is fucking gambling.
I mean, that's
just... The laws about these things are fucking 25 years old.
No, I know.
The ESRB came about in the 90s, and it hasn't really changed since.
No, I know. It hasn't. It definitely hasn't.
So the organization is archaic, and I think if they're not going to properly tackle this issue, then it's time for the government to step in. I realize I'm saying that in one of the fucking most ass-backwards administrations in my lifetime, but that's what needs to be done if they're not going to fucking do this right. And I will advocate that point. I don't care what anybody else says about it. This needs to say real-world gambling mechanics, and they need to leave other DLC out of it. You can't say this has apples and oranges, and then label it, this game has apples.
Or, like, say this game has fruit.
Yeah.
I get where you're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
I totally see where Adam's coming with this. I just disagree with you can't just put gambling on it, but I do say that there is something that does need to be addressed about this, and perhaps just saying in-game purchases and lumping everything in there does not qualify as a good job. But
let me change my wording. Apples and oranges is a little too non-confrontational. This game has apples and cyanide, and then you label the game, this game has apples.
Yeah, well...
That's a little bit more accurate to what we're talking about here, because this is a legitimately exploitative process.
I kind of think the apples and oranges and just calling it fruits was better. Because it is. You're getting something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Or like saying something like, one has... like, we're going off on a tangent, but it's like, one has seeds you can swallow and one has seeds you don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, which one are you getting? This one has seeds, and some of those seeds you can swallow,
and some of them are poisonous.
Some of them are poisonous, but it just says fruits. Is that better?
Fruit with seeds, yeah.
Fruits with seeds.
Yeah.
That's better.
That's better. I think that's much better.
Okay. Fruits with seeds. Let's make that. Put that on their ESRB. Fruit with seeds. Some may be poisonous, some may be edible.
It's the same. You know what? It's really just as effective as what they're talking about doing, so.
Okay. Jeez. That was actually a fun segment.
Yeah.
Me and you actually like saying no to each other. Okay, Adam. Next topic.
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
Tony Socks. Tony Socks.
Tony Socks. Oh my God. The pro gymnast. Tony Hawk says he is no longer working with Activision on his iconic skateboard series.
Good. Fuck him.
Fuck Tony Hawk? Jesus Christ.
No, fuck Activision.
Oh, fuck Activision.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Man, Adam, what are you doing? Tony Hawk posted... recently, Activision did a kind of HD, not a full scale, like kind of an upscaling, not a remaster, but like a small little upscaling of the first original Tony Hawk. And people were like, cool, we like this. And, you know, obviously people started tweeting Tony Hawk and like, yo, when are we going to get a Tony Hawk remaster of 2 or 3 or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or Underground, which Underground's so good. Tony Hawk replied with, to anyone asking me to remaster old games or complaining about Tony Hawk Pro Skater servers being down, Activision owns the Tony Hawk Pro Skater license, but I am no longer working with them. If I had the skills/authority to reboot servers or code games for newer systems on my own, I would be happy to. I think that pretty much says that he's pissed that
yeah, because they fucking took his name and dragged it through the mud.
Yeah, because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 was trash.
It was a glitchy mess.
It was a glitchy, muddy, crappy, unplayable mess. And I'm going to stand by that unplayable. It was unplayable. It was so glitchy and bad. And a lot of people had issues with them. Just changing a couple things up with the mechanic. We were doing this, a big mechanic they were talking about was this slam mechanic, and
which was fucking up people's grind transitions.
Yeah, apparently they were talking about that. I never noticed it in the game, but I was like super excited. I was like, the game doesn't look very good, but who cares as long as the gameplay is fun. Gameplay wasn't fun. Gameplay sucked. And I think that Tony Hawk, which I don't understand why there is no Skate 4. That game was very popular. It might have been just the developer might have went under or something and took the name with it.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Because those games were very well liked, and for a while they were just beating the shit out of Tony Hawk. People were like, fuck Tony Hawk, we got Skate.
Tony Hawk is very much like Sonic, where Tony Hawk Underground and Underground 2 are Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And then after that, everything is shit.
Yeah, I mean, American Wasteland was okay, and Proving Ground was where it started to really lose it for me. And yeah, like, people want these remasters, which I would love remasters of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3 and Underground.
You know what they need to do? Jam all the content from Tony Hawk 1 to Underground 2 in one game and fucking push it out there.
What, like, is a big remaster collection?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. All in one game. Like a whole new game.
Oh.
Same mechanics as Underground 2.
Here's the...
And then all the content from all the games.
They do say that Tony Hawk is currently working with another developer, though, on a franchise. Probably not going to be called Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
It probably won't even have his name in it.
No, he probably can't even use his name anymore, which is
fucking stupid.
It's fucked up, but I understand how business works. And Activision, yeah, did that HD featuring some levels from earlier entries in the series. No other high definition remakes have come since, as the company has said it's open to making more remasters after the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy did so freaking well. And they would probably sell like hotcakes and would probably revitalize the franchise, but I think 5 kind of did it in for them, and they're probably just going to stick to remasters.
Yeah.
I think that a Tony Hawk game in that style deserves to be out there.
Tony Hawk 5 is Sonic 06.
Yeah, that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unplayable, glitchy, piece of shit mess that just sucks in every way. Feels like it's a console behind when it's not, you know? And I think that Tony Hawk in that arcade-style, goofy, fun game with a great soundtrack is what most people will remember. Mm-hmm. You know? We didn't really want realism in Tony Hawk. I didn't think so.
I wanted moon jump codes.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to do crazy shit.
But people enjoyed Skate, which was more of a realistic. But yeah, I guess
then go fucking play Skate.
I know, but I'm saying, like, Skate was fun. I just there's a lack of skateboarding games, and I know skateboarding isn't what it was back, you know, when those games came out. But there are people who play those games because they're fun, not because they're skateboarders. You know what I mean? Tony Hawk Pro Skater games are what got me.
I hate to keep drawing comparisons to the Sonic franchise, but Sonic kept trying to reimagine itself to compete with new mechanics in Mario games, and Tony Hawk tried to reimagine itself to compete with Skate.
Yes, that is true. You are
completely
right about that.
Fucked up. That's where they both fucked up.
Well, yeah. Well, Tony Hawk was really hitting a hard strike during the end of the 360 reign because Activision released 2 games using that plastic skateboard controller, Tony Hawk Ride and Tony Hawk Shred.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk Shred was a piece of shit and an awful garbage game, and it literally only managed to sell 3,000 copies. But you know what? Yeah.
I didn't know it was that low. Holy shit.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Sold 3,000 copies.
Worldwide?
This says in the opening week in the United States. Only in the United States.
Okay, that's just the opening week. I thought it's like total historical sales. Was
no,
just
perhaps I worded
copies.
that a little word, but
holy shit.
Its opening week only sold 3,000, which that game cannot have sold more than 7,000 copies. No way. There's no way.
They quit tracking the sales after that.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
They're like, oh, well, we don't care anymore.
It was also on that time when all these fucking plastic controllers were completely on the down.
Oh my god, yeah, the Rock Band and
Love Rock Band though. I fucking love Rock Band.
Guitar Hero, like
Rock
all
Band
those things
tonight.
were out. Yeah, all those things were super big then, and they were like on the way out.
Hey, do you want to know what Tony Hawk Ride did though? It did one thing, not necessarily good, but it did one thing pretty damaging in life. It fucking put a dent in my goddamn head. One of those fucking boards fell on my head from like, I don't know, probably the top of a shelf. It slid off, fell directly on my fucking dome, and there is a dent in the middle of my head.
You should fucking
because
sue
of it.
Activision.
I should. Adam, give me your hand. I'm doing this. Ready? Okay. Head. Wait, hold on. Let me find it. Right here.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You felt it? That's from the Tony Hawk Ride controller falling directly on my head. It dented my skull. Like, I'm probably going to have a brain aneurysm whenever I'm fucking 60. And then they're like, yeah, there was this weird dent in his head. And Adam's going to be like, that fucking Tony Hawk killed Bob. Fucking killed him. That's what's going to happen. So, you felt it.
Yeah.
I'm not bullshitting.
It's there. It's really there. It's definitely like a centimeter deep.
Yeah. It fell, the board fell like it was completely vertical on the wall, and it slid because there's no real way to prop those things up very well, and it slid and just kind of fell. And it probably fell about the distance of, if you're seeing the video, probably about the top of this flag here. You can't see it, but I mean...
So like a good 2 feet.
Yeah, but it fell and just... Then the crazy thing was, I was only 2 steps away from an old woman who was like looking at the games for her grandson. Yeah. And I was just putting shit away at the exchange. And it fell on me, and I'm like, could you imagine if that one killed that woman?
Yeah.
Luckily, my head's the size, of a boulder and just as hard. And it hit my head, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, I think it dented my head. And I'm like, looking, I'm like, it definitely dented my head. My head's not like that on the other side. Oh my God. I can't believe there's a fucking dent in my head from that Tony Hawk.
You really should, like, attempt to sue Activision.
Yeah? Well, you know, if I die from a brain aneurysm on the right side of my head, you're going to be like, hey, so where did this aneurysm occur?
Activision skateboard hit him in the head?
Well, yeah, that's what you need. You're going to be the one on record. This is on record. If I die in my 60s, someone go back to GTAS podcast episode 15 and be like, yeah, Bob said something about a thing hitting his head and on the right side. You guys want to do a little look into that?
Activision Tony Hawk Ride / Red Skateboard?
Mm-hmm. There's 2 things I'm mad at Tony Hawk for, and it's that, which I don't blame him for that. I blame Activision. But that and that April Fool's hoverboard commercial that made me actually believe that a hoverboard was going to be coming out because Tony Hawk endorsed it.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick for that.
That pissed me off. That pissed off a lot of people, but that really pissed me off. So, good Tony Hawk. Make a new franchise that's fun. Activision, rotten hell for your fucking bullshit board that hurt me. Didn't just hurt me. It's literally scarred me. Huh. Okay, Adam. We're going on to our last topic of the day.
Yeah. Which
is Chrono Trigger was released on Steam last week.
Mm-hmm.
And people are not happy. Why is that, Adam?
Because it's a direct port of the iOS and Android version.
Huh. Why do you think people would be so mad about that?
Because mobile games fucking suck.
Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But why? Go into more detail. Why do you think...
The menus look terrible.
Yeah, they look like they were written in Microsoft Word with, like, basic whatever...
But the whole game basically is like in like a white Arial font on a gray background.
Yeah, it's gray with white font. It's so boring. Looks like someone just typed it on their keyboard and punched that in there. The menus are like awkwardly big because clearly they're designed for your thumbs and not for a controller, so they take up a good portion of the screen. Now,
it's literally a direct port. The only thing that you would be missing is touchscreen controls.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people are complaining that the game looks bad. And usually,
I don't know if I agree with that one.
I was gonna say we were looking at gameplay footage of it. I looked at actual gameplay footage of the DS version, which Adam and I think both consider the best version of Chrono Trigger that you can buy.
Yeah.
That's what you should buy is anything. But apparently, people are not very happy with the way it looks. To be honest, I didn't think it looked too terrible.
Other than the menus.
The menus, yes.
The menus are atrocious.
You can just tell they stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
They just don't look right.
The game graphically doesn't look that bad. I think one of the problems with it, though, is that it's locked at a certain display
It locks at whatever
ratio.
They said it adjusts itself to all these different type of display ratios, but apparently it's just locked to whatever you have. That's a little technical for me, but it was like saying like if you have like 600 by 800, I believe
1600 by 800,
something like that. I'm not sure. I didn't go too much into that type of detail because it's not something I'm too familiar with. But yeah, apparently it's locked at whatever you're at, whatever you're displaying it on. It just kind of adjusts itself to that. But here's the thing: I was surprised at that. I was like thinking, oh, this game's gonna look like trash. This game's gonna be like muddied. The game's colorful and pretty looking. The music's still amazing. I mean, if you get anything, me bringing the focus back to that dent now is hurting my head. But Chrono Trigger. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I think if you put a top 10 list out there, I think most people would say that it's a top 10 JRPGs of like all time.
Oh, yeah.
It's beloved.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cheap.
Overpriced on Super NES.
Oh, definitely overpriced. I have my box copy. Got that for helping somebody move.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I got Chrono Trigger in box, Secret of Mana in box, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Collector's Edition, all in box for helping someone move a mattress. It's a good deal. Really good deal.
Yeah, that's an excellent
deal. They were like, hey, I know you have a truck. Would you do this? And I'll give you these. I was like, fuck yeah. Oh yeah, I got the Goemon game for the Super Nintendo that I gave you the box for.
Yeah. Which is also a good game.
I got that too. But here's the thing. Yes, as I was saying, a lot of people would consider Chrono Trigger one of the top JRPGs. It's beloved. It's been ported to everything. Why would you put out the mobile version? Like, did you not expect that, like people were like, yeah, this is pretty good for our mobile version, but like, they just not want to do any work? And
I guess
you can't remap any of the controls or anything like that, unlike you can with all the other versions. Like, the DS gives you a bunch of features to remap and change the screen layout and all that stuff. It's just lazy. And then they did this big giant trailer for it that made it seem like it
almost made you seem like you were getting the 3DS or the DS version.
I could be wrong in saying this. Did the game trailer show any of the iOS graphics?
The menus? I don't think it did.
I don't think it did. They totally tried to play it off like this was a full-on port of like the original, not a downgraded version. Now, to be fair to everybody, I mean, right now the game currently holds a 50. It has a 3 out of 5. It's like a 50 or 60% on Steam right now. Not a very good rating. But to be fair, you are getting Chrono Trigger. Bad version or not, yeah, the menus suck. The music's great. From what I was seeing, perhaps everybody's screen is different. I thought the game looked fine.
Yeah.
Besides the shitty menu during the fighting mechanics and
the
organizing
locked aspect ratio.
And the locked aspect ratio,
I don't really see the complaint.
I really don't. Yeah, I'm not really one of those people who's just jumping on the bandwagon of it's a fucking shitty port. You are getting Chrono Trigger. And you don't have to buy another console for it. Unlike, if you want to play it on the PlayStation, well, you got to go get a PS2 or a PlayStation 1.
Or PS3.
Or PS3.
Yeah, all PS3s will play PS1 games.
Okay, yeah, but you have to do that. You want it on the DS? Okay, go buy that, which that's risen in price. That's, I believe you can't really buy it new anymore, and the game normally sells now for about $30-$35, which probably is about it new anyway. So you don't have to do that. And you don't have to buy a Super Nintendo and try to buy a $120, $30, $40 cart. You're only paying about, $17-$20 for that, I'm going to assume? Maybe even 15 to 20 bucks, I'm going to say.
I don't know. I haven't logged into Steam in quite a long time.
Let me see. Chrono Trigger Steam cost. Let's see. I'm just saying. Just letting everybody. It's $14.99. Okay. It's $14.99.
There are like very shitty Half-Life mods that cost more money than that.
Yes. Now, I'm not going to agree that buying a $14 mobile game is justifiable. Just going to say, just take a step back and just think about it. You could either buy it on another version and, like, I don't think they have physical versions of it. Do they have it on, like, any of the, like, the old Switches or something like that? Could you buy it on, like, the Wii U or the Wii console? I don't know if you could.
As like a WiiWare title, you mean?
Yeah. Could you do that?
I think so. For like a virtual console, you might have been able to.
Let me see. I'm going to go to its Wikipedia page and see what it was available for. Okay? Because
either way, you're better off going and buying a DS Lite for $50 and getting.
It says it was available on Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Nintendo DS. I don't know what. iMod, iOS, Android, and Microsoft, and so those are phones.
Those are the mobile versions.
And now the Steam version. So yeah, you were pretty much, for what I'm seeing, you were stuck to a $140 cart for the original experience.
Plus the hardware if you don't already have it.
Plus the hardware if you don't already have it. So let's just say if you're lucky enough to find a Super Nintendo for less than $90, we'll just say $50 even.
Which I think the game that it came on was Anthology, wasn't it? It's
that's
Final
for the
Fantasy VI.
That's for the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's 6 and Chrono Trigger together.
Yes, for the PlayStation, you get a.
And that usually runs what, like $30-$40?
I'm gonna say 20.
20?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 20, but you still have to buy a system for it.
Yeah, you still have to.
So if you
don't have
one.
the hardware, or go out and buy a PS1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, like you can't put it on a laptop. And then Nintendo DS is you got to find. You're probably gonna buy a system for. Let's say to get the cheapest version you could possibly get, probably $50 for an original DS.
Or you know what you could do? Not that I'm advocating this, but you could always get an emulator, and with a controller that plugs into a USB that looks like a Super Nintendo controller, and just play the ROM.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Adam? We don't know shit about ROMs. Apparently.
Yeah. What are you? I don't know. I feel like I was just possessed for a second.
Yeah, we don't know shit about emulators.
Yeah, what's an emulator?
Yeah. We're just stupid when it comes to it. That's harkening back to our Billy Mitchell review. Go look at those comments. Oh my God, people just love.
People were not. People thought we were defending Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, we're not. But I'm just saying.
I'm
not harping on it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying if somebody's saying they have the opportunity to prove themselves, prove their innocence, I don't see the wrong in letting them just justify themselves. Who knows? If he's dirty and cheating on an emulator, well, fuck him. But I'm just saying, if he has the opportunity to prove that he didn't do it on an emulator, I don't see why it's not possible to just let the guy prove it. He says he didn't do it on an emulator. He says he doesn't know how to work it. I'm just trusting the guy. I don't fucking believe that he did that, but I'm just saying. I'm sure
either way, I don't care.
I don't give a shit either. I mean, you can comment all you want. I don't care. It just that
we were just reporting that story.
Yeah.
Clearly, the more important issue is stuff like this issue with loot boxes and DLC that's affecting basically everybody that's playing games right now.
But Billy Mitchell and his high score is just hot topic. Hot topic.
I think it's actually, isn't that our most popular video?
That is our most popular video by over 1,000 views.
I don't get it. I know the dude's an asshole, but like, I don't get it.
Who cares? I told you, man.
Who gives
I told
a
you.
fuck?
I'm like, I find this just interesting, and you're like, I don't fucking care. And I'm like, people do, man. It's a world record in games, and just oh my God. Ugh.
I think we were talking about it like over PSN or over the phone, and I'm like, I never even fucking heard of Twin Galaxies before this controversy came out. So like, the amount of me caring
it's because we
like
did a
negative 1,000.
Well, it's 50-50. We're videos at like 8 likes, 8 dislikes, or I think it's 9 positive now. But it's funny, yeah. Just people just don't like Billy Mitchell. So if you even just kind of suggest that maybe he actually did do his scores, Ooh, hot take. It's just because we're not. I just because I'm not going on online and declaring that everybody who is claimed to be an asshole is an asshole. He seems like an asshole. But
yeah, I don't know him personally, I don't care. I don't want to meet him. He looks like a boring old man that plays Donkey Kong all the time. I'm not that interested in what he's doing with his life. I don't really care about this that much. But I agree. If he says that he can prove it, let Twin Galaxies get legitimate hardware, sit him down on a live stream,
or show a
and
tape.
let him get that fucking fuck that tape. Live stream the whole event with legitimate hardware that they have confirmed. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, fuck him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. Nobody, but we're digressing. We're getting a little far away.
Yeah, we are just getting a little thing. I'm just saying that people are like, "What? You don't know how to work an emulator?" I don't. And I'm pretty decently tech savvy. And I'm sure if I tried, I could maybe figure it out, but I don't know how to work one.
Yeah, I mean, I've used MAME before, and I've used other emulators, when I was younger, and MAME's a little bit more complex.
Okay. We'll both have a final word before we just kind of like end it, because we're just ranting, at this point, and it's just kind of, we're done with the podcast, so we're just kind of saying something in like a defense of us. Not that anyone watches this part, but
basically what I'm saying is, don't come at us like we're Hitler for saying if Billy Mitchell can prove himself, then let him prove himself.
Yeah.
Because we both agree that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. My thing is, if the guy says he doesn't know how to work an emulator, he could be lying. He could be lying.
He could be telling the truth.
He could be telling the truth. But when my issue is, my defense is, maybe he is lying. But that doesn't disqualify the fact that he knows people who do. And that's what I was saying is, he might not know how to, but he sure the fuck does know people who do know how to.
Yeah.
And I said he probably didn't do it himself, but he probably had one of his guys do it for him if he did that. Now,
if it's any indication by the 9 likes and 8 dislikes, there's clearly people that are on Billy Mitchell's side that would have done that for him.
Yes. It's clear that people know how to work emulators and people who are tech savvy. But I'm just saying, he's just a guy that plays video games. And my only defense is, if he, as you just said, if he can prove his innocence and he can get the score that he said he did without a proof of emulation, I do not see the horribleness of allowing him to just prove himself. If he didn't do it, he didn't do it. I mean, to be honest,
if he
agree with...
faked the score, he's not going to be able to prove it.
Do you know what I honestly think they should just do? I agree with Pat the NES Punk on his completely unnecessary podcast.
Yeah.
He says that you should just wipe it out and let whoever
comes up next get it.
Yes. And that's when you start keeping these records. Fuck the old records. And that would also entice a lot of new people, a lot of people who didn't think like, oh man, they just erased the Donkey Kong level. Why don't I try to go and do it? It would entice more people into arcade game playing again.
I agree with this idea too.
I think that's a really smart idea. So way to go on Pat on that one, because that is a genius idea. Just wipe it clean. This gets rid of all the bullshit of the fake scores that possibly happened, and that Twin Galaxies did a shitty job of making sure that verifying authenticity. Just wipe the scores and start doing scores now. If those people who were so good on it back then want to waste their lives to do it again, do it.
When you do a Guinness World Records attempt, there's an official that shows up to view the thing. You don't get to send in a VHS tape in 1990, whenever the fuck he got this stupid fucking thing. And then they just go, okay, this is obviously fact because it's on film. Somebody needs to be there. They need to verify that their hardware is legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just fucking do it right.
Yeah. There's a pinball museum. I'm probably just going to do this separate segment. I'll just do it as Billy Mitchell Part 2. Watch it probably get even more hate. Get even more fucking hate.
Yeah.
But there is a pinball museum in Carnegie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably people are listening to me really bad because they're probably looking like Carnegie, because I think most people pronounce it Carnegie.
I've always said Carnegie.
I know, but I think that's a Pittsburgh thing. I think it's like, it's not Pittsburghese, but like we just call it that.
Yeah.
We just call it Carnegie, like Andrew Carnegie, but I think his name's actually Carnegie. But either way, there is a pinball museum that is locked to the public. It is not allowed to the public, but twice a year, or maybe only once or twice a year, they allow the public to come in and try to beat high scores on their machines that are registered, authentically processed, and are able to be world records. A lot of world records are broken in that thing. And if you're able to break a record on a machine, you are allowed access to that place anytime you want. But it's closed to the public.
Yeah.
But only once in a while they offer. I think that's what they should do. They should...
like an arcade museum.
Yeah, like an arcade museum that is either open to the public all the time and scores can be done whenever. But I just think that idea of just wiping everything and letting people come in and get fresh and enticing people to like if someone said they wiped the score on Dig Dug, I'd be like, ooh, I'm pretty decent at Dig Dug. Nowhere near like world record, but like
you
might
try.
But I might try.
Yeah.
Same with like my cousin.
I wouldn't fucking touch Donkey Kong. It's so boring.
Oh no, I like Donkey Kong, but yeah, I like Dig Dug probably the most. But like my cousin, if I told him like, hey, they just wiped all the world records, so now it's completely open for anybody to try to get a high score. My cousin would probably be like, huh, I like Pac-Man. Maybe I'll try Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Get good at it. Get good, and then go to an arcade museum, and that is like maybe world record. Like authorized?
Yeah, certified.
Like, yeah, something like certified. Like, hey, we are authorized. If you score a high score on one of these machines, it stays on our record and we can send that in and it can be authenticized. That no cheating was achieved or anything like that. So,
yeah.
I'll chop up this little segment and just throw it out there, and maybe it'll become like a little part 2. Because, yeah, I just think I think people listen to part of the video. And they're not,
yeah, I don't think,
or they're not, maybe we're not expressing ourselves right, but I've listened to the video a couple times myself, and I feel like my opinion was kind of fully clear, that I'm just like, hey, I'm not saying that he's telling the truth, but he could be. There's a 50-50 shot that he's either telling the truth or he's lying. He's either not
or he is.
Yeah.
Those are the two things.
And do I think he's kind of guilty? Yeah, I think he's probably guilty. But if he's not, let him prove it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, fuck me, because I'm a piece of shit because I don't know how to work an emulator.
Again, this is just, Americans have such bad ADHD that, like...
Yeah, there are more important issues
on this planet. The cops are
like,
go to court? No, just shoot him now. Yeah. And it's the same,
there are people in the video where they're like, well, I'm glad that you're not talking about something like the loot boxes all the time. Yeah, because it is. It's just meant to be a little, like,
oh my God, yeah. As important as the loot boxes are, to talk about them all the time is...
It's draining.
Yeah, and it's boring for our listeners to just hear the same shit all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I hate bringing up loot boxes, but sometimes that's the biggest story in the news, and
sometimes there's something important that needs to be
addressed or updated on people who maybe didn't know before, who don't actually care.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Adam, that's pretty much the end of the podcast. We pretty much ended it with a rant. Just wanted to give a heads up to everybody. The show, when we get it officially done, we will have an announcement video. But just yesterday, so that would be Friday, March 2nd. That's if you're hearing this. I officially got a good RSS feed, a service for us to load the podcast. And so currently we are under review for 3 ones, which will be iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And I know a lot of people really want the audio version because it is a lot easier than listening on YouTube. I fully understand that, and I've heard your issues, and I'm trying to address those. And I just wanted to give everybody the update that
we plan to do it eventually, anyways. But we were having some trouble figuring out how.
Yeah, Adam doesn't do what I ask him to, so I had to really take it upon myself, be like, shit. I really want to try to get this done.
I put the pro in procrastinator.
Yeah, we should find new D words for you. How about like?
How about dick?
How about doesn't do what Bob tells him, Adam Miller? But I wanted to let everybody know that I resolved the issue. Yeah. So within the next, just depends on how long. Like they're currently like on iTunes. You can like I think you can currently listen to them, but you can't like download them yet. Yeah, they're just under review. But they said that it'll probably take about like a week. So I told everyone on Twitter that it would probably be ready by the next time this podcast is uploaded. And I don't know if that's the case, but just wanted to give everybody that little heads up. It is
in case it isn't. It's coming very soon.
It is 100% coming. It's just when they will give us the full access. You know what I mean? Yeah. So once they finish our reviews, don't worry. Trust me, I'm going to get that shit out to everybody as quickly as possible because I know we have 20 listeners and I think at least 3 or 4 are asking me, where's the iTunes version? I'm like, yeah, shit, I really need to get on that iTunes version. Like, I really got, like, I have only a couple people who actually, like, listen to my show. The least I can do is indulge them and help them listen to the show the easiest way possible. So, once again, though, thank you for anybody who does want to listen to us. But, yes, it is coming. Very, very soon. Just give it a little bit more time. Promise it'll be there very soon. But I have loved all the feedback, by the way. Even the shitty comments on the Billy Mitchell one and the Turtles videos. I love all the comments. I seriously do. I read every single thing that is sent to me. And sometimes I don't respond, but I do read every single thing that's sent to me.
He does. And I do.
Adam jumped in on a couple. Mm-hmm. You jumped in on a couple. Good for you. And you kept it civil. And that's the only thing I can really address the most is just, please just keep it civil. I mean, you can call me an asshole all day. I don't care. But don't make fun of everybody else in there. We're all just kind of just having fun and just bullshitting around. We're just talking about shit. That's all we're doing.
For the most part, yeah, we're talking about shit. And for the most part, everything that we talk about is opinions. Yes. There is no... unless we state something that is an objective fact.
Unless I say that 2 plus 2 equals 2, that's a fact. Or 2 plus 2 equals... Did I say 2 plus 2 equals 2? Yeah. Ooh, man, I fucked that up.
But but that's what you're saying. That's objectively not a fact. So somebody could call you a fucking idiot or an asshole or whatever, and it would be adequate. But if we're just having opinions. Yeah, that's just opinions. Opinion, it doesn't like.
It's okay for everyone to have different opinions.
Yes, especially about pop culture.
Yeah, pop culture's not that important, and it's fun to just talk. And as we said, that's why we called the show Talking About Shit, because it's like that's all me and Adam used to do. We just like, what do you do? You want to we go on PlayStation, talk some shit a little bit, and talk about some shit, and have some fun. Yeah, it's just about being civil to each other. And
if you like this show, thank our old coworkers who made us start this show.
Yeah, our old coworkers used to. Danko was one of them.
Danko was one of them.
Yeah, love Danko. But yeah, no, thank you for everybody. Like, I'm gonna probably say it every single show, but thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to everybody. It's been a real fun time ever since because we did this for 2 years earlier, and we just kind of did it.
It was rough. We didn't have video feed.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
Our audio quality was decent, but it wasn't this good.
Yeah, we were running off of a iPhone. Yeah, an old iPhone 5, and but ever since we rebooted it, I've had a great fucking time. I look forward to doing this show because it's fun for me. Yeah, because I love just talking bullshitting with Adam, but I'm just recording it now. Yeah, so
doing what we would have done anyway.
Yeah, we would have done it anyway. So once again, thank you to everybody who has listened. Adam, where can anybody who doesn't know where to find us already? Where can they find us?
So. www.facebook.com/GTAS podcast. And the same thing for Twitter, but just www.twitter.com/GTAS podcast. And the next time you hear me say that, hopefully we'll have iTunes and Google Play and what's the other one? Stitcher links
hopefully
in there
we'll have them as well. So, Adam, thank you once again for being on the show with me. Until next time, farewell.